Welcome back, Global Coin News, Treasure Hunter. Watch closely because there's a real chance you've already spent a silent fortune without ever knowing it. Right now, in everyday circulation, Washington quarters that look old, dull, worn, and completely ordinary are hiding life-changing money. These are not rumors. These are not internet myths. These are real United States quarters struck decades ago that are still being handed over at gas stations, grocery stores, vending machines, and coffee counters as if they're only worth 25. Today, we're exposing the 5 most shocking Washington quarters ever minted. Coins so rare and so dangerous to ignore that a single careless moment could cost you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Each one is scarier, more unbelievable, and more valuable than the last. Some of these quarters are sitting right now in pockets, drawers, jars, and forgotten collections across America. If you think you've seen rare coins before, trust me, you haven't seen anything like this. Stay locked in because every next coin raises the stakes, increases the value, and could be the hidden treasure that changes everything. And whatever you do, do not spend these coins. Do not spend these coins. First up, when you think about hidden treasure, you might imagine gold bars or ancient coins locked away in a vault. But what if I told you that a simple pocket coin, a 1982 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, especially in circulated, even dirty condition, could hold surprising power in today's auction market? Yes, the United States Washington quarter $1982p is one of those modern coins that has quietly built a strong reputation among collectors, and in the right condition it can command impressive prices in dollars. Let's begin with the history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin became one of the longest-running designs in U.S. history. By 1982, the quarter was already a familiar piece of everyday American life. However, the year 1982 turned out to be special. That year marked a transitional period for the United States Mint. The Mint was dealing with budget constraints, changes in packaging, and shifts in production strategy. Most importantly, 1982 and 1983 quarters were not issued in traditional uncirculated mint sets like previous years. This decision created a unique collector situation that still impacts value today. The P mint mark on the 1982 quarter represents the Philadelphia Mint. Interestingly, before 1980, Philadelphia coins typically did not carry a mint mark. But by 1982 the P mint mark was standard, making it easy to identify. While millions were struck, high-grade examples are surprisingly difficult to find, especially because so many entered circulation immediately. That means most 1982 P quarters you find today show wear, scratches, dirt buildup, and dull luster from years of use. Now here's where things become exciting. Even circulated and dirty coins can carry value if they possess certain characteristics. Collectors look closely at strike quality detail in Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers on the reverse, and the sharpness of the lettering. In circulated condition, most 1982 P quarters trade around face value to a few dollars. However, coins with minimal wear, strong detail, and original surfaces, even if slightly dirty, can command much more. But the real treasure lies in high-grade examples and rare varieties. Because mint sets were not widely available in 1982, finding a 1982 P quarter in mint state condition is challenging. At major auction platforms like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, top-graded 1982 P quarters have sold for $465,000. In MS-67 condition, examples have crossed the auction block for over $571,000. That is a massive return for a coin originally worth just 25 cents. There are also rare mint errors that increase demand dramatically. Off-center strikes, double die errors, and coins struck on wrong planchets can multiply value many times over. A dramatic mint error in circulated condition can still bring strong bids because error collectors value uniqueness over perfection. Even a dirty coin with a verified error can sell for several $1 million depending on rarity and eye appeal. Another important factor is the composition. The 1982 Washington quarter is composed of a copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. While it contains no silver like pre-1965 quarters, collectors are not focused on metal value here, they are focused on condition, rarity, and grading scarcity. That is what drives prices in today's competitive coin market. In today's auction market, demand for high-grade 1982 P quarters remains steady because registry set collectors compete for the best examples. Registry sets are competitive collections registered with grading companies like PCGS and NGC, where collectors aim to own the highest graded coins. Because 1982 P quarters are difficult in top grades, competition pushes prices upward. If you have a circulated, dirty 1982 P quarter, do not clean it. Cleaning can significantly reduce value and destroy collectible surfaces. Instead, examine it carefully under good lighting. Look for strong details, minimal heavy scratches, and unusual features. If you suspect it may grade highly or contain an error, consider submitting it to a professional grading service. Authentication and grading can transform an ordinary-looking coin into a recognized collectible asset. Collectors also watch for full strike details. Sharp detail in Washington's hair and clear eagle feather definition can signal a stronger strike. Even in circulated pieces, strong strike quality can make a difference in desirability. Market value today varies widely. In average circulated condition, expect 25 cents to $5. In about uncirculated condition, perhaps $125,000. In mint state MS-65, values can reach $23,500. In MS-66, several $265,000. In rare MS-67 grades, auction results have exceeded $480,000. Error coins can range from $575,000 depending on the type and severity of the error. The beauty of the 1982 P Washington quarter is that it represents opportunity. It reminds collectors that value is not always about age or silver content. Sometimes it's about scarcity and condition, production circumstances, and collector demand. So the next time you receive change, pause for a moment. Look at the date. If you see 1982 with a small P mint mark under Washington's portrait, you might be holding a coin with hidden potential. Even in dirty circulated condition, it could be the starting point of a valuable discovery. In the world of coin collecting, knowledge creates profit. The 1982 P Washington quarter proves that even modern coins can become auction stars. Study them, protect them, and you might just turn 25 cents into hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. Next up, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American pocket change history, the 1969 United States Washington quarter dollar with no mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another old quarter pulled from circulation. But to collectors and sharp-eyed investors, this coin represents opportunity, hidden value, and the powerful story of American coinage during a changing era. The 1969 Washington quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series that began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. The coin was designed by sculptor John Flanagan, whose iconic portrait of Washington appears on the obverse. By 1969, the quarter had already become a daily-use workhorse in American commerce, passing through millions of hands in grocery stores, gas stations, and banks across the nation. Now let's talk about what makes the 1969 quarter without a mint mark so interesting. In 1969, quarters were primarily struck at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins struck in Philadelphia at that time did not carry a mint mark. So when you see a 1969 quarter without any mint mark below the date, you are looking at a Philadelphia issue. While millions were produced, the real opportunity lies in condition strike quality and rare minting anomalies that can dramatically increase value. The 1969 Washington quarter was made of a copper-nickel clad composition. Just a few years earlier, in 1965, the United States transitioned away from 90% silver quarters due to rising silver prices and coin shortages. By 1969, the clad composition consisted of a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper-nickel. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams and has a reeded edge. In circulated condition, the high points of Washington's hair, the cheek area, and the eagle's breast feathers on the reverse typically show visible wear. Speaking of the reverse, the classic heraldic eagle design dominates the back of the coin, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbols of strength and peace. The inscriptions United States of America and E Pluribus Unum arch above, while quarter dollar appears below. Even in circulated condition, strong detail in the eagle's wings and chest feathers can make a noticeable difference in collector appeal. Now here's where things get exciting. While an average 1969 Philadelphia quarter in heavily worn condition may only be worth face value, coins in higher circulated grades such as extremely fine or about uncirculated can command significantly more. The real premium comes when you find a sharply struck example with minimal wear and strong luster remaining in protected areas. Even more valuable are error coins. Some 1969 quarters have been discovered with striking errors such as off-center strikes, double die features, clipped planchets, or wrong planchet errors. A dramatic mint error can turn an ordinary 25-cent coin into a collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in auction environments. Serious collectors carefully inspect the date, lettering, and design details under magnification to identify doubling or unusual characteristics. If you believe you've found a strong 1969 no-mint mark quarter, here are important tips. First, examine the coin under proper lighting. Look for sharp lettering in Liberty and "In God We Trust." Check the rim for full definition. Avoid cleaning the coin. Cleaning destroys original surfaces and can drastically reduce value. If the coin appears above average for circulated condition, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service. Certified coins often achieve stronger auction results because buyers trust the assigned grade. Auction markets have shown that high-grade 1969 quarters, especially those certified by major grading services like PCGS or NGC, can achieve impressive prices. Coins graded in mint state condition even without a mint mark have sold for strong premiums due to scarcity in top grades. While circulated examples are more common, appeal originality and absence of damage such as scratches or cleaning marks can significantly increase desirability. One important factor to understand is grading. In circulated condition, grades range from good to about uncirculated. A good example will show heavy wear with flattened details, while a fine or very fine coin will retain clearer design elements. Extremely fine coins show light wear on the highest points, and about uncirculated examples may appear almost mint state to the untrained eye. The closer your 1969 quarter is to AU condition, the greater its potential market value. Collectors also appreciate coins with natural toning. A circulated 1969 quarter that has developed attractive gray, gold, or light blue toning over decades can stand out in the marketplace. However, artificial cleaning can destroy value instantly. Maintaining originality is critical in the coin collecting world. Another interesting angle is long-term investment potential. The Washington Quarter Series remains one of the most widely collected U.S. coin series. As older generations pass down collections and new collectors enter the hobby, demand for high-quality vintage-clad quarters continues to grow. While 1969 quarters are not rare in general, premium examples are becoming harder to find in untouched condition. If you are searching through pocket change or coin rolls, pay close attention to detail. Look for strong strike quality, minimal wear on Washington's hair, crisp lettering, and any unusual doubling or alignment issues. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect the coin carefully. Even circulated coins can surprise you if they have exceptional eye appeal or rare errors. In today's auction market, certified high-grade 1969 quarters without mint marks have sold for $385, and error varieties can exceed that significantly. While most circulated examples trade modestly above face value, the key is identifying standout pieces that collectors compete for. The 1969 United States Washington quarter without a mint mark is more than just spare change. It represents a transitional era in American coinage, carries the legacy of George Washington, and holds exciting possibilities for collectors who understand grading, rarity, and market demand. The next time you see a worn 1969 quarter in your pocket, don't dismiss it too quickly. Examine it closely. In the world of coin collecting, knowledge turns ordinary coins into extraordinary opportunities and sometimes into real dollars in the auction spotlight. Next up, we are spotlighting an incredible piece of pocket change history, the 1995 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark, a coin that many people overlook, especially when it appears in a dark brown circulated condition. But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking quarter could carry surprising value in today's auction market? The Washington quarter has been a cornerstone of American currency since 1932. Originally introduced to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, this coin replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became one of the most recognized coins in the United States. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse features the iconic left-facing portrait of Washington, while the reverse until 1998 showcased the majestic eagle, a symbol of American strength and unity. Now let's focus specifically on the 1995 issue. The 1995 Washington quarter with the P mint mark was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. By 1995, the United States Mint was producing quarters primarily for circulation, and millions were minted. However, not all coins are created equal. Even within large mintage years, certain coins become highly collectible due to condition, toning, mint errors, and market demand. One of the most visually striking characteristics of some 1995 P quarters is the dark brown color shade that develops over time. while Washington quarters minted after 1965 are composed of a copper-nickel-clad outer layer over a pure copper core. Long-term circulation, environmental exposure, and oxidation can create deep brown or chocolate toning. In circulated condition, this darker appearance can sometimes give the coin a vintage, almost antique look, especially when the copper core subtly shows along the edges. Collectors often pay close attention to color and surface preservation. Even in circulated condition, a 1995 quarter with attractive natural toning can stand out. The key is originality. Coins that have not been harshly cleaned or artificially altered maintain far greater desirability. A naturally dark brown circulated quarter with strong details, visible hair strands on Washington's portrait, and defined eagle feathers can command attention in the secondary market. In terms of rarity, the 1995 Washington quarter had a high mintage. Over 1 billion coins were struck. That may not sound rare at first. However, scarcity in numismatics is not only about mintage numbers, it's also about survival and premium condition. Most 1995 quarters saw heavy use in daily transactions. Finding examples with clean surfaces, attractive toning, and minimal damage becomes increasingly difficult decades later. Additionally, collectors actively search for varieties and errors within the 1995 series. Off-center strikes, die cracks, doubled dies, and other minting anomalies can significantly increase value. Even subtle doubling in inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust can elevate a coin from face value to a highly desirable collectible. Now let's talk about market value. In standard circulated condition, a typical 1995 quarter is worth face value 25 cents. However, coins with exceptional eye appeal, strong natural toning, or certified higher grades can sell for several dollars. When graded mint state 65 or higher by professional grading services, prices can rise into the $340,000 range. Exceptional specimens graded MS-67 have achieved even higher auction results, sometimes exceeding $562,000 depending on eye appeal and demand. If the coin contains a recognized error or dramatic variety, values can increase substantially. Rare doubled die examples or major mint errors have been known to sell for millions of dollars in specialized auctions. That is where knowledge becomes power. Understanding the difference between ordinary wear and collectible features can transform how you look at your spare change. The dark brown circulated appearance, in particular, appeals to collectors who appreciate natural aging and character. Coins tell stories. A quarter that traveled through decades of American commerce, from grocery stores to gas stations, carries a tangible connection to history. That narrative alone adds emotional value beyond simple metal content. For collectors and investors, here are some important tips. First, never clean your coins. Cleaning destroys original surfaces and dramatically reduces value. Second, examine coins under proper lighting. Look closely at mint marks, lettering, and fine details. Third, consider professional grading if you believe your coin shows exceptional quality or a potential error. Certification can dramatically increase buyer confidence in auction settings. Storage also matters. Keep coins in protective holders, away from moisture and extreme temperatures. Preserving the current condition is essential, especially if the coin already displays attractive natural toning. In today's online auction platforms and coin marketplaces, demand for vintage Washington quarters remains steady. Many collectors are building complete data mint sets, and every year that passes makes high-quality examples more desirable. The 1995 quarter may not be a classic rarity like early 20th century silver issues, but its combination of history, accessibility, and potential hidden varieties makes it an exciting coin to study. So the next time you see a dark brown 1995 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in your change, pause for a moment. Look closer. Examine the surfaces. Appreciate the design. You might just be holding more than 25 cents. You could be holding a small but meaningful piece of American numismatic history with real potential in today's auction market. Next up, when you think about valuable coins, your mind might immediately jump to gold pieces or ultra-rare silver dollars locked away in museum collections. But what if I told you that a simple pocket change coin, a United States Washington quarter dollar from 1965 without a mint mark, could hold surprising value in today's auction market? Yes, the 1965 Washington quarter, even in circulated condition, has a powerful story, historical importance, and in certain cases serious dollar value that continues to attract collectors around the world. Let's begin with the historical background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin quickly became a staple of American commerce. For decades, from 1932 to 1964, these quarters were struck in 90% silver. However, 1965 marked a dramatic turning point in U.S. coinage history. Due to rising silver prices and a nationwide coin shortage, the United States Mint transitioned from silver to a copper-nickel clad composition. This makes the 1965 Washington quarter the very first year of the clad era, a historic transformation in American currency. Now here is where things become even more interesting. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made the decision to remove mint marks from coins entirely. This policy was implemented to discourage coin hoarding during the coin shortage. As a result, all 1965 quarters were struck without a mint mark regardless of whether they were produced in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. That means every genuine 1965 Washington quarter you see will have no mint mark beneath the eagle on the reverse side. While that may sound common, the story doesn't end there. Over 1.8 billion quarters were produced in 1965, making it a high mintage year. In circulated condition, most examples are still worth their face value of 25 cents. However, value in the coin market is not just about mintage, it is about condition, rarity variations, and special errors. Even circulated coins can carry collector demand when they display strong details, attractive toning, or unique characteristics. The standard 1965 quarter is composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs approximately 5.67 grams. But here's the rare and exciting part: a small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964. These rare transitional error coins are extremely valuable. When authenticated, a 1965 silver quarter can sell for thousands of dollars at auction, sometimes reaching $7,000 to $10,000 or more depending on condition. This is why collectors always recommend checking the edge of your 1965 quarter. If you see a solid silver edge with no visible copper stripe, you might be holding something extraordinary. Even in circulated condition, collectors look for specific features. Strong strikes with visible hair details on Washington's portrait, clear lettering in Liberty and I in God We Trust, and well-defined eagle feathers on the reverse can increase desirability. Coins with minimal scratches, even light natural toning, or attractive eye appeal often perform better in the resale market compared to heavily worn examples. Another factor that adds value is mint error varieties. Some 1965 quarters display doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. These mint errors can dramatically increase value, even in circulated grades. A noticeable doubled die on the lettering or date can bring hundreds of dollars depending on the strength of the doubling. Off-center strikes of 10% to 50% with a visible date can also command strong auction prices. Let's talk about grading and condition. In circulated condition, most 1965 quarters fall between good and extremely fine. A coin graded about uncirculated with slight wear but strong luster can already bring a premium over face value. Uncirculated examples graded MS65 or higher can sell from $385,000 or more. High-grade certified coins graded MS67 have sold for $1.4 million because of their rarity and such pristine condition. In today's auction market, demand for transitional-era coins remains steady. The 1965 quarter represents a major shift in American coinage history, and collectors value it as the first clad quarter ever issued. Historical importance often adds long-term investment appeal. Auction platforms such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers frequently showcase high-grade or rare-era 1965 quarters that achieve impressive results. If you are searching through circulated coins, here are smart tips to follow. First, weigh the coin. A silver version will weigh about 6.25 grams instead of 5.67 grams. Second, inspect the edge carefully for the absence of the copper stripe. Third, examine the coin under magnification for doubling or unusual features. And finally, if you suspect you have something special, consider professional authentication through PCGS or NGC to confirm its composition and grade. Collectors today are increasingly aware that valuable treasures can hide in ordinary-looking coins. The 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark may appear common at first glance, but history, transition, and rare minting mistakes give it hidden potential. Even circulated examples are part of a revolutionary year in U.S. mint history, the year silver disappeared from everyday quarters. So the next time you receive change at a store or sort through an old coin jar, take a closer look at that 1965 Washington quarter. Examine the edge, Feel the weight. Study the details. Because in the world of coin collecting, knowledge transforms ordinary pocket change into opportunity. And sometimes, that simple quarter could be worth far more than 25 cents in today's competitive auction market. Next up, we're diving into a piece of American history that you might just be holding in your pocket right now: the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1970, minted in Denver, with a D mint mark, in circulated condition. While it may seem like just another coin at first glance, collectors and enthusiasts know that these quarters carry stories, history, and surprisingly significant value on the auction market. Stick around, because this is a coin that proves even circulated coins can be hidden treasures. The Washington quarter has a rich legacy dating back to 1932, created to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the quarter features the iconic profile of the first president on the obverse, while the reverse showcases a bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, framed by olive branches, a symbol of strength and peace. The 1970 Denver Mint quarter is part of the larger series produced between 1965 and 1998, a time when quarters transitioned from 90% silver to clad composition due to the rising cost of silver. While the 1970 quarter is made of clad copper nickel, it still holds significant interest for collectors because of its historical context and the variations that can affect its value. When examining a 1970 D Washington quarter, the first thing to notice is the D mint mark located on the obverse side, just below Washington's bust. This mark signifies that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the two primary mints producing quarters at the time. Even in circulated condition, you can identify key features like the sharpness of Washington's hair, the clarity of the eagle on the reverse, and the condition of the rim and lettering. Minor variations, including die cracks or doubling, can also appear, and these subtle details often catch the eye of experienced collectors. You might think a circulated coin from 1970 is just another piece of change, but don't underestimate it. The 1970 D Washington quarter is sought after by collectors for several reasons. Circulated coins with minimal wear and a strong strike can fetch premiums at auction. Second, collectors appreciate Denver minted coins because subtle differences in minting processes created small but notable variations between Philadelphia and Denver issues. Finally, demand for quarters from the 1970s has been rising steadily, as more people realize that coins from this era represent a tangible slice of American history, yet are still attainable for new collectors. So, how much could your 1970 D quarter in circulated condition be worth today? While most circulated examples sell for around $160,000, coins in excellent condition with minimal wear or noticeable die varieties can command higher prices. On online auctions and in-person coin shows, top-condition circulated coins have sold for up to $462,000 or more, depending on their appeal and collector interest. For those who stumble upon a particularly strong specimen, this coin could become a small but meaningful investment, especially if held onto as collector interest grows in the coming years. If you're serious about collecting, here are some key tips for handling your 1970 D Washington quarters. Look for wear patterns, rim dings, and striking quality. Even subtle differences can affect value. Store them in protective flips or coin holders to prevent further circulation damage. Some Denver quarters have rare die varieties or minting anomalies. These can dramatically increase value. Compare market trends. Stay updated on online auctions, collector forums, and coin shops to understand what buyers are willing to pay. The 1970 D Washington quarter may seem humble, but it represents history, artistry, and potential value in the collector market. Even in circulated condition, it's a tangible connection to America's past and a coin that could surprise you if you decide to sell or trade it. Next up, we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins from the late 20th century, the United States Washington quarter dollar, 1988, with a D mint mark in circulated and, yes, even dirty condition. Don't scroll away. What seems like a common coin could turn into a collector's treasure right before your eyes. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932, originally minted to honor our first president, George Washington, on the bicentennial of his birth. The 1988 edition, struck at the Denver Mint, carries the iconic D mint mark on its obverse, a symbol that instantly tells collectors where it came from. While many 1988 quarters are considered everyday change, certain characteristics can make even a circulated grimy example highly sought after. Now you might be thinking, it's dirty and circulated, how could it possibly be valuable? Here's the secret: collectors today aren't just chasing pristine, uncirculated coins. They're hunting for rarities, mint errors, and coins that tell a story of decades spent in circulation. Every scratch, every darkened patch of patina, every unique where pattern adds character and sometimes value. For the 1988 decoder, the most valuable examples are often those that show distinct minting anomalies like doubled dies, weak strikes, or unusual die cracks. Even if your coin is dirty, a skilled grader or collector can spot these features and place a premium on them. In today's auction market, a circulated 1988 decoder can fetch anywhere from $250,000, but those with notable minting errors? Prices can skyrocket into the $1.8 million. Auction houses and online collectors are constantly hunting for these hidden gems. The beauty of this coin is its accessibility. It's a reminder that rare coins aren't always hidden in banks or vaults. They're in your everyday life. That quarter jingling in your pocket or lying forgotten in a drawer could be the next big auction sensation. So, if you're a coin collector or even just curious about old change, here's what you should do. Examine your coins under good lighting. Look for mint marks, unusual wear, and anomalies. Even dirt can hide exciting surprises. And if you spot something exceptional, consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication can transform a humble circulated coin into a verified collector's treasure. The 1988 D Washington quarter may not look like much at first glance, but in the world of coin collecting, every detail counts. A circulated, dirty coin might just be the rare find that makes your collection stand out, impresses fellow collectors, and even makes its way to a high-value auction. Remember, history is in your hands, sometimes literally in your pocket. So, next time you reach for your change, take a closer look. The next rare quarter could be hiding right under your fingertips. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to uncover more hidden treasures in the world of rare coins. Your next millionaire discovery could be just a quarter away. Coins that were once pocket change are now worth more than homes. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin guides, and comment below with coins you want us to spotlight next. Thanks for watching Rare Coin Insider, your source for rare coin education and investment insights.